unstoppable, losing's impossible. Go against the team, the thing they know not to do. Bright lights, game on the line, do what I gotta do. Time after time we do.
It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, and the wait is over for this rivalry game. It's the Hawks and the 49ers on EA Sports.
Wet weather squarely in the forecast this afternoon in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium. Today we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Welcome again, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and yes, the rain is falling now, and it is supposed to continue to fall throughout this game. So how do you think that will impact this contest?
Well, first and foremost, both quarterbacks are going to make sure the officials have those dry footballs coming in each and every play and standing over them sometimes with a towel before the center gets up there to snap it. Second thing is the focus of all the guys who handle the football. Do they wear gloves? Do they take them off? Will they carry the ball high and tight to make sure they have good ball security? That's paramount in a game like this.
Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And we are underway from Santa Clara. This is taken just shy of the 10. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll be led out by Mr. Irrelevant in the 2022 draft, a guy with something to prove, Iowa State's career passing leader. And that's Brock Purdy.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out in the starting game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. But that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think his big boys up front, that offensive line, they've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
On 2nd and 11 now. Purdy. He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. First down, San Francisco, to pick up 14 yards.
This was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got it not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
On on 2nd and 7. Purdy. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing here, Purdy. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. Only 2 yards, and it'll be a punt on their opening possession. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
On 4th down, the Niners trot out Mitch Wishnowski to punt the football. And this will pin him back deep. That's going to kick out of bounds right at about the 7-yard line. So well done there. These punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job of staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith lets it fly for Treadwell. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep, Ray McLeod. And taken at the 46. 31 yards on the punt there. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their 2nd drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris.
Chalk that one up to bad acting, I guess, because they certainly failed to sell the handoff, and the pressure stayed keyed in on the quarterback. No Oscar awards for this offense, just a loss of yardage.
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. McCaffrey running up the middle. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this will remain a scoreless game. That would have been from way downtown. Pretty big roll of the dice, and he comes up a bit short.
Yeah, you knew when you saw the holder setting up on the other side of the 50 that this was going to be a long shot. But to me, there's really no loss here because you've shown confidence in him. Kicking it from a long distance, that'll pay dividends. And the miss, you can shake that one off. It wasn't likely to make it in the first place.
This offense got to be loving this. After the long missed field goal, they'll take over on the other side of the 50. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, handoff to Dallas. Down to about the 45.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. Nice move at the 40. And some space here. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
Yeah, this could be a sign of what this defense is in for because, you know, all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. Back to Walker on 1st down. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. 22 yards for Kenneth Walker. And the Seahawks will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. A pretty well-executed run. They were telling us yesterday, Charles, they were hoping to get everybody in sync, the line, the backs, and everybody looked in sync on that play.
They were in sync. And the field tilted, and that's where we get the term running downhill because when you've got that kind of momentum and everyone's doing it properly as you just described, it does feel like they are coming from downhill to you as a defender, and that is really hard to stop.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This is taken just shy of the 10. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. Purdy to throw it on first down. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down.
Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there. Couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On 3rd down, it's Purdy. Open man is Jerron Jennings. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it's so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47. McCaffrey on the toss right. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Another run with McCaffrey on 2nd down. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. So on 4th down, here's the Australian native Mitch Wishnowski to punt this one away. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Smith. And he'll just get rid of it.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. And that is incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Oh, he shifts past him. Not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. The 49ers offense now. They work their way back onto the field. The last series for them, a little disappointing. Forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Now on 1st down, it's Purdy. And he wisely will throw that one away.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Had to get in there and knock another one away. I think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder.
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now Purdy. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
A lot of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Purdy will set up to throw it here. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. And the Seahawks are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Here's Walker to start the drive. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 61 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Smith. Buying time to his left. And he'll just get rid of it. Rocky started throwing the football. He's missed now on his first 4 attempts.
Eager to see what his demeanor is going to be from this point forward, because the best ones, they missed the first 15 attempts, and they think they're going to hit the next 15. Let's see if he has that type of an attitude.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. McLeod to return it. Pretty woeful there, just 23 yards on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete, and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Room here to run. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That good for 22 and a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. They're going to run the sweep. It's Samuel. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Cody Barton there to bring him down.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the Jets sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
On 2nd down, there's the option going left. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Purdy from the gun on 3rd down. That's caught by Jennings. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down. They run with McCaffrey off the option. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
On running plays, linemen, of course, have their assignments. That's expected. But it's not often you're expecting to see a cornerback blitzing in run support and tackling the runner for a loss.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Purdy looking to throw. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
First down, and they'll try to run the option left. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
That run wasn't a big breaker, but I don't think the guys on offense mind very much. They've got a nice drive going, and they might just be luring the defense in a little bit. They could probably come back with a play action, maybe go over the top. But right now, on this drive, their playbook is open.
On second down, McCaffrey. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter. So they need 6 yards here on third down. They're 2 for 2 on third down tries so far on this drive.
Out of the gun, Purdy trying for Ayuk, but it's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
That pick hurts a little extra because it was third down. You were already in field goal range.
You know what he's going to hear all night, all next week? Situational football. Understand what's going on because you expressed it perfectly. 3 points were in their hip pocket. They had those. Now, those went by the wayside. You cannot make those kind of mistakes.
It's what you call a rookie mistake.
Let's go, baby. Let's have some fun. Let's go now.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on second and 12. Back to throw, Smith. Dancing to his left. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
That is Nick Bosa from out on the edge who worked his way in for the sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's third and long. Throwing now is Geno. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. A heck of a play there on third down, but amazingly they're still short for fourth.
I think that we all figured when he called it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the fourth down.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today.
Here's McLeod on the return.
That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The 49ers offense making its way back out there.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Purdy's throw taken in by Samuel.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
From just shy of midfield, Purdy. That ball caught. Brandon Ayuk. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 31-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him, and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Kobe Bryant makes the stop on that one.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Purdy with it on 3rd and long. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Tanner Muse with it. And the Seahawks force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
After the interception, here's Smith. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hoping they come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a 1st down.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Smith.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Pulled in at the 24. Dances by him. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over.
San Francisco's offense returns to the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. A give running left, it's McCaffrey. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Purdy from the gun.
And that is incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Here's Mitch Wishnowsky now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10.
Back out now comes Kenneth Walker and the Seattle offense.
And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Now he dumps this off over the middle, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Running right, here's Walker. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
Smith on 1st down.
That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half, because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there, hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Smith's throw into the hands of Lockett.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try for the first with Walker. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good, and this will remain a 1-touchdown game. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. He'll get this underneath to McCaffrey. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Here's Mitch Wishnowski now on to punt. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. Kenneth Walker headed back out there. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. On first down, Smith. And they're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now it's Smith.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Geno now to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And that will be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
First play of the drive, excellent run. Just sets up wash, rinse, repeat. Another 1st down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Now an option play, and he'll keep it.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Back to throw, Purdy.
That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
And they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe, because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
The offense on 3rd down, they've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This is 3rd and 7.
Throwing here, Purdy.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. Boy, Charles, you hate to see this for a rookie quarterback. You're hoping it doesn't shake his confidence, but that confidence, it might be shaken because that is 4 interceptions for him now in this ball game.
It has to be shaken. Wouldn't be human if you weren't. Doesn't matter whether you're a rookie or a veteran. 4 interceptions, you're not sure what you're doing out there. So to me as a coaching staff, I would think very hard about getting him out and trying it again another day.
On 1st and 10, Smith. It's caught. Lockett. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Smith. Throwing the out route, and he connects with Fant. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the shotgun, this will be Dallas. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. On 2nd and 7, Smith. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far and brings up 3rd down. When tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little sand down on the stage.
I'll take your word for it, my man. 4th, I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Now here's the call.
After review of the play, ruling on the field is confirmed.
So that challenge, a successful one. Here's Walker. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set them back for 2nd down.
Well, that play's not going to go in their highlight reel at the end of the season, but the only benefit to the offense, maybe a little more space if they want to throw the football now after taking that loss.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Throwing is Smith. Being chased out left. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks go up by 2 touchdowns. Well, he scrambled outside of the pocket, wondered what was going to happen there. He fired a dart. That's what happened.
He certainly did. Scrambled left, looked left, and then left it in the receiver's hands with some dispatch.
In the receiver's hands, in the end zone for the score. Now Myers for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that drives 7 plays in length.
And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
The football will come out to the 25 as McLeod will not return it. The Niners set to take over on offense. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 23 yards on the play.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Purdy to throw it on first down. And boy, another ill-advised throw there as that will wind up incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
Now a throw here, hauled in. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 42. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Here's Purdy on 1st and 10. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Purdy now to throw. And this one incomplete, threw down at the feet of his receiver.
This defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
Once more, Purdy looking to throw.
They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. 12 yards on the return that time. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime.
So time perhaps for one final kneel down before they take this lead to the locker room. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0 as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, BG, thanks very much. And welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports halftime report. First up, though, let's run through the next-gen stats for the Seahawks in that first half. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the third and fourth quarters. Meanwhile, for the Niners, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Taken from about the 12. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this third quarter. Third quarter begins with a run by Walker. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll get this to about the 34, a gain of just 3.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
Smith on 3rd down. Looking sideline, and he's going to have his man as he was able to walk the tightrope there for the completion. That'll bring up 4th down after back-to-back-to-back 3-yard pickups.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know, you're trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Purdy. Got a man. That's Ayuk. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Purdy. And that's complete to McCaffrey. Oh, good move. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They'll get it down to there. It's a first down for the Raiders.
Well, design there. They occupied the defense downfield. Everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield. And he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Purdy. They'll find Ayuk open right side. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll go option to the short side. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
On 2nd and 9, Purdy. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Purdy looking to throw on 1st down here. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Purdy from the gun. And my goodness, another interception. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick six is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And it is now 21-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. The football will come out to the 25 as McLeod will not return it. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll start with the option. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Now that's what he can do when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop it.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action here. Purdy. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. Well, the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up 2nd down. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep...
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Uchenna Nwosu got the sack there.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Shotgun now with Purdy. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're just looking for more of the same. Great first half so far. Good second half. And you know, sometimes I guess maybe, Charles, these coaches, they don't have to tell these guys much when they're rolling like they're rolling right now.
You're exactly right. I've heard stories of some of the best coaches in our time or any time having grabbed their staffs at halftime and said, guys, they're playing really well. Don't go in there and give them a whole lot of stuff. Just pat them on the back. And essentially the speech at halftime is, let's go, guys. And that's it.
Yeah, no one's upset the apple cart so far. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. If this defense wants to stay in this ball game, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Flush to it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
I like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. Now a tough spot for Geno Smith and company after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Throwing now is Geno. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Here's the option going left on 2nd down. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A gain of 8 on the keeper and a 1st down. Well, he's certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Now this time they'll throw it. Here's Purdy. And that'll be off the mark. Too far, and it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, in a situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Purdy will set up to throw it here.
And this is going to be incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. Fourth down now, but he was fortunate on that one. Not down another turnover on his ledger.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to kick it away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. Oh, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They have picked up right where they left off in half number one. Just looking really dominant, extending this lead.
And it's fun to see when teams actually do that, because so many times you go into the half after playing well, and you kind of relax a little bit. We've got this. We can kind of punch the button whenever we get good and ready. But for a team to keep the intensity and keep the execution up and come back after the half and play so well, that's actually really, really nice to see.
And a pedal to the metal. That's what we're seeing right now. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Smith.
That's complete to his running back, Dallas.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now it's 3rd and 3.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Back to throw, Smith. And that is incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. Yards on the punt, 2 on the return. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. On 1st down, Purdy. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
2nd and 10 here as we roll along in quarter number 3 from Santa Clara. Back to throw, Purdy.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Purdy with it on 3rd and long. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Fair catch called for. No gimme in these conditions, but he's able to look this one in. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the 50, it's Smith. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Geno now to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Just a gain of a couple there. And it's 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be third down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1?
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
On 4th down, Smith. To the right side and complete to Metcalf. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. From the gun, here's Smith. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Noah Fant from 10 yards out. And the Seahawks up the lead to 4 scores now here in this 4th quarter. And a decisive advantage became even more decisive. They already had the win in hand, but they keep pressing the tempo. And they pile on with another touchdown reception.
Would you consider that touchdown a reward to all the tight ends on their roster for their effort today? Not just running their routes, but all the time they spent in the trenches laying down blocks, doing the little things to help that offense succeed. And for doing all of that, they definitely want one of their tight ends to get a touchdown to really seal this blowout.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 28-0. A 10-play drive that time. And it's Noah Fant who caps things off with the touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the 4th quarter. And a big deficit, Charles. But they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
Purdy's throw complete here to Ayuk. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Out of the gun, Purdy. And it's caught by Jennings. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Purdy to throw it on first down. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Again, it's Purdy to throw it. Got a man. That's Ayuk. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Purdy's throw taken in by Samuel. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Hard to believe his first catch of the game. Defensively, they bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Here's Purdy on 1st and 10. Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And they'll work this down inside the 30. Throwing again on 2nd down. Purdy, throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Now the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Brandon Ayuk from 19 yards away. And the 49ers are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. Coaches must really like to see that from the quarterback because he's had the interceptions in this game, but they're able to connect on the touchdown pass.
And teammates love to see that because they know that they miss blocks during a game, but they come back and make them later on. They miss tackles, right? They miss making plays, but the spotlight is magnified on your quarterback. And when he stands up to the pressure and comes back and throws a touchdown pass after throwing some picks earlier, they feel great about that guy.
And likewise for him personally, as a rookie quarterback, has to give him more confidence. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 86 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Walker now on 1st and 10. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. And going right back to Walker. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he's going to have this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Niners' 32.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been stymied left and right, converted only 1 time. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way and worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Straight ahead, Walker. And a short gain here down to the 22. Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. 127 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. From the gun, it's Walker.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Here we go.
They'll run for it. It's Walker.
And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow. Talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear a peep of protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Purdy looking to throw on first down here.
Gets this one to Juszczyk. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
From the 22, Purdy.
Kittle catching the slant.
5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Now on first down, it's Purdy.
And now here's another interception.
Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
I think he thought he had his first read open on that one, but they were obviously ready for that throw, and that's just a lack of experience showing. Young quarterback stared his man down the whole way, and they were more than happy to sit on that route and bring home the INT.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Trying the left side with Walker.
And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Good gain there on first down, and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone.
10 yards and a Seattle first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And Walker once more. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Ken Walker with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Well, there's just about a minute left in this game, and they're still taking it into the end zone. And you know they could have taken a knee there, but they decided to play this one all the way out. And I think their philosophy is, we're going to give you everything we've got. If we just go ahead and take a knee now, we're actually showing you disrespect that way, like taking pity on you. They're not about to do that to their opponent.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it was Kenneth Walker finishing things off with a touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Taken at the 15, a short kick. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the 49ers getting set to trot out there. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing here, Purdy. Oh, this is going to be caught along the sidelines. Probably shouldn't have been caught. He's going to lose yardage there. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I believe I could see what they were trying to do there, but unfortunately, the back ran out of room. Too close to the sideline. And for defenders, we're often taught, 11 on the field, those sidelines can become the 12th defender. It worked to the defense's advantage on that play.
Purdy now to throw. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Purdy, big 4th down play. And he is going to have a 49ers first down. And it is a big letdown there defensively. They somehow allowed to convert on 4th and long. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Purdy looking to throw. This is Jennings. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Purdy will look to throw again here. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Eight yards to go on second down. Back to throw, Purdy. That's going to be caught by Sam. And a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head. Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve. Down to a knee, here goes Smith, and that should all but do it. Well, this was a really nice display, Charles, of complimentary football, especially how much they were humming in the second half to pull away and get the victory. Really a complete performance. And so much fun when you're able to have everyone contribute, both sides of the ball. You go back in the locker room and you just savor it, right? Because that's what football's all about. A true team game, and they got it done in this one.